You can tell I'm a bit disheveled after working in the garden a little bit this morning. Um, so I set up my uh, station, concocted a little overhead uh, camera situation, and then somehow have now lost my ability to connect to that camera. And it's a little annoying, but does mean you'd be watching me instead of um, my art today. I was going to talk a little bit about how I experience oversharing, um, and it's that oversharing link, I guess, to what people are now calling um, speech processing. I think that's what it is now. Sorry, see, I can't even. Which is something that I've done my entire life. I usually uh, call it talking in circles. Um, there has to be another individual listening, not listening hard, but I would do this a lot with my mom. Just talk and talk and talk when I have a problem, seemingly in circles until I've figured it out, which is not, I don't know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but um, yeah, I had an experience this week actually of a pretty close friend, but having a discussion with them and walking away feeling like um, a little hungover from how much I shared and started a bit of a spinning out because of it. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that. However, oh, hi, Lynette. Thanks for dropping by. I may mess around and try to get this other camera connected somehow. Um, and then again, it might just not be the day for showing this artwork. I'm not sure. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Amelia. Thanks for coming in. I was just kind of explaining that I had set everything up to have an overhead camera and at the last minute couldn't get my computer to connect to it. So, not, I don't know, that throws me off a little bit. And it's so odd because I honestly don't understand what I did differently this time. Oh. Yeah, it's the technology thing is so interesting. So, I always feel like um, when I don't sleep or when I've had a couple of weeks of not sleeping very much, technology is a little meaner, and that's totally just my perception because, of course, I can't think straight. But um, yes, and Lynette says, and sometimes they do updates and change things, and it's such an adventure. Um, I feel like I have to relearn setting up every week, and I know that like I can do StreamYard or something maybe a little bit more stable, but Um, I really wanted to just keep the process real simple for myself for starting this and getting used to being on a schedule and just proving to myself that I could show up even when I'm not having a great time. Um, and yes, Lena is absolutely a side quest. But my side quests though can really spiral out of control. I'm sure you all can relate. I feel like if I start to mess with this and I get too stubborn with it, I'm gonna end up just being tech support, like a tech support live. Um, what I did instead of setting up my normal space was often it's just easier for my energy um, conservation to just set things up in bed, and that always comes with a bit of a learning curve. This time I did a like wire cube taped to another lap desk because I have like five, depending on how my arm is doing. um, and created a nice little overhead place, and now I have blank paper. But hi, Stuart. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, appreciate you all for taking your time this Sunday. Did anybody bring a task or anything that they were hoping to get done? Or if not, that's totally fine too. Before people showed up, I was kind of running my mouth about about oversharing and the feeling of kind of verbal processing that is out there a lot. Hi, Dar. Dar is super close to me. It's super cool. But yeah, so I was talking a little bit about that and my experience with, just having had a talk this week with someone and kind of processing afterwards that I don't know, for me it's kind of like a frantic energy, and I guess I never really thought of it as something that other people experience, and now I see people talking about it a lot, so I just thought I'd bring that up too. Let me just check the chat really quick. Yes, Amelia, that's a great reason to be here. Like, I I used to do video games. Like that was my big social outlet, especially having disabilities and not having the greatest way to go out and be around people. And so for a lot of years, I played video games collaboratively online, met a lot of great people, you know, a lot of not so great people, but I, even way back in the days when you have to take your computer with you to somewhere to game and do a LAN party. I was one of few girls that in my area at least that would show up for those, and that was a very big outlet for me. Even raising my daughter, is she would go to sleep at night and I could hop in and get in on doing a raid, or I don't know, some other. It gave me a lot of sense of accomplishment, even though it seems a little silly. But the hole that left in my life, I'm still kind of processing it. I think most of you here know, but I have had to have several surgeries on my dominant hand and arm, and I actually doing this type of a live where I'm showing myself drawing and painting and doing things like that is a bit of a celebration for me because my dexterity has taken quite a while to come back after this last surgery. And the pain's a lot and the recovery is a lot. So I, um, I don't know, just as a kind of a self-love practice, just trying to expand what I consider art and embrace imperfections and just kind of, being happy for where I'm at with it. But I have found that Substack has started to kind of heal that hole in my heart that gaming has kind of left. It's something that I can get better at. I mean, obviously the technology is a big thing. And then, just kind of learning to be out there in a new way. But going back to Amelia's comment about, expanding community and things like that, it really is, people like yourselves showing up, and also your lives and your content that kind of helps in that healing, and it helps me to progress in a way that gives me that back, gives me a little bit of that back. So so I really appreciate you all being here. It's I've worked remotely for a long time. I also homeschooled my child because she was a national athlete. There was a lot of traveling at first and a lot of stuff. So, I have really kind of Substack for me came at the perfect time, all of these transitions. Let me just take a minute to see what everybody's chatting about. Oh, so nice. Yes, Brittany, I saw that you saw Rush last night. Oh, Madison Square Garden had a Canadian flag from the ceiling, as they should, from this emotional support Canadian. Let's see here, some other things. Oh, thank you, Brittany. And Lynette, celebrating the little victories is very important. Let's see. Oh, Stuart, let's see. Anthem. You know what? I did not. Let's see here. All the Rush hits. Oh, yeah, Amelia. Like, Substack has been a huge healer. And so weird also. Like, I'm always being very critical when I'm looking at things, but I look forward to you all in all the forms. And Dar says, if you don't mind a coffee tea visit someday from this senior, I'd love it. Yeah, no, absolutely. That would be so much fun. Meeting people from the internet is amazing. I remember the first time that I met my team. I used to play Counter-Strike, like super far back in the day. And I went to Vegas once to meet all the people on my team and play in the tournament before tournaments were really big money situations. And that's a memory that's pretty near and dear to my heart. Yes, I know. It's we need connection. We need more connection. I think decades of being told to be independent and strong and all that kind of stuff has collided a bit with COVID, and that isolation is pretty extreme. And of course, those of you listening that have disabilities of any kind, that could also be very isolating in different ways. Sometimes you're in a room full of of people or, around a group, and you can still feel pretty alone. Um, but that, I mean, community, I think real life community, online community, any place in where you're feeling connected um, with others is, it's a bit of a rebellion, I think. Um, it's really a wonderful way to stand up to all the stuff that's going on, you know. Be there for your neighbor and let your neighbor be there for you, which I don't know about any of you, but I am absolutely terrible at asking for help, but probably even worse at letting people help. I am realizing now, in midlife, that I was really taught a very transactional way of having relationships, and um, it's so important to remember to let other people actually help you. You know, let's see. Yes, Brittany, I've says I've never connected with strangers as well as I have on Substack. It's kind of bizarre in a good way, and I completely agree. That I don't know about you, but I also wonder sometimes, like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Almost, it's very very weird. Um, yeah, and I can completely understand that, Stuart. Like Stuart says, I enjoyed COVID isolation. There were no stupid people around me for years. Like camping, it was refreshing. I definitely agree. There were a lot of things about COVID isolation that felt normal to me, just because I have kind of worked from home and have kind of forged my own path. But it's such a weird balance, isn't it? To not become a professional hermit, as Lynette says. Um, you know, to have a nice balance, whatever that looks like for you, and and also accepting other people's balance as well. It's harder for some people to do. Um, uh, what do some of you guys do for work, or just main hobbies, or any of that kind of stuff? Like what makes? Oh, Brittany says she's gonna work from home. Yeah, it I used to work in offices and all of that, but it just has worked out for me that I've ended up being able to have that luxury, I guess, of working from home. I know it doesn't work for a lot of people, and um, obviously there's lots of jobs that can't, but it's um, lovely to be able to. I don't know if this makes any sense, but like to feel my own energy while I'm doing stuff instead of worrying about everybody else. Mm, yeah, um, it's good, but you know, um, as some of you might know, like I'm on a medical leave right at the moment. Just trying to calm my nervous system after this last little bit of a crunch in my job world, I guess. Um, and it's been a lot of learning about being okay resting and not being productive, and just actually um, listening to my body. Yeah, and Amelia says that they used to work in offices too, but from a disability standpoint, I can't do it anymore. I agree, Amelia. Like, there was a time when I was doing it electively, but remote work now is absolutely a saver financially. There's really no accommodations that can compare to that. It has really, really helped. Yes, Lynette, gardening and cooking, yeah, and reading. I feel like a lot of us have a lot of the same interests when it comes to what we do in our days and stuff like that. And I think that those things that are kind of both productive and feed us are some of the most important things. And I mean literally feed us, but also figuratively. Yeah. Yeah, and like I'm finding that because I'm not really supposed to be typing or using a mouse very well, I'm not supposed to be doing repetitive stuff. That's mostly it. That I've been leaning a lot on, you know, television has been a big thing. I mean, I think that it's always a big thing for me, but it's also content on Substack that keeps me going right now, and seeing what other people are doing, and talking to creators and talking to people in chats and stuff. I think um, that's kind of also what's kept me going. I I feel like every summer. So I live in BC. For those of you that don't know, and we on Vancouver Island where I am. They I don't know who they are. Who is they? People somewhere call this area the tropics of Canada because we don't get the typical harsh winters and really hot summers. But lots of rain and lots of wind and things. So I every year seem to be branching out with my garden for the summer. And what's difficult for me about that is that keeping things alive on my balcony during the winter is crazy making. So I don't even try anymore. And that's mostly because of the wind. Um, it, uh, I have to go through a weatherproofing period at the end of the summer where I pretty much have to tie everything down, or risk it flying off my balcony and onto the people. Hmm. Just check in with the chat. It. Hmm. Yeah, so Vancouver Island is off the coast of BC, and like southwestern, I guess, BC. Um, and Yeah, Darce is a lovely ocean breeze. It's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful, and I actually really love wind. I love it so much. And yet it is also a very destructive force. So it's love hate relationship, I guess. I can remember as a teenager actually standing on elevated places and then trying to make the wind like keep me there, like lean into the wind and see if it would hold me up. Um, that kind of fun play with it. Yeah. Um, yeah, Dar's just up the island for me. Like, are you out by Souk there, Dar, or are you even more north? Mm. Chemainus, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Actually, my daughter is up in Duncan for her job this weekend, so a little closer to you. Um, yes. Chemainus is between Duncan and Nanaimo. Stuart is asking, are the ski lift tickets affordable? I mean, we have Mount Washington on the island. Gosh, I haven't been there since I was little. But um, but Whistler's really the better place to go. However, it is off the island. Yeah, yeah. Dar said same. Brittany says she's only ever been to Toronto and Ontario, which I mean, that's fair. I think there's a lot going on over there on the eastern side. That's a lot easier to go to all the major metropolitan areas. You start getting out um, west of Ontario, and everything is so far apart. um, yeah, yeah. For sport, I have been to a lot of the major metropolitan places in Canada, from Quebec, probably west. I haven't really done a lot of, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, all of that stuff. Uh, haven't quite gotten out there yet, but I don't even try to travel anymore. Um, in, to my family's chagrin, actually. They're constantly pressuring me to travel to them, but um, mm, yeah, Vancouver is pretty fun. I mean, I don't like it because it's really quite a bigger city than Victoria. I am such an island girl, but it's a cool place. I used to go party over in Vancouver a lot when I was younger, and then yeah. And Brittany asks, "Is that where Libby's trying to go?" Yeah, Libby used to be in Victoria, which I'm considered in the Greater Victoria area. I think that she's trying to go to Vancouver for a bit now. At least that was the last time I was in her live, that she said. But yeah. And Dar says there's about 5 ski mountains on the mainland around Vancouver and more in the interior. Yeah, the place that we used to go a lot uh, is closer to Kelowna, in the real mountains, as people like to say. Um, Big White was where I used to go a lot, but I don't know. Whistler, for people who are, I don't know, air quotes, serious about skiing and stuff, apparently it's not as good as some of the eastern BC resorts. It's a little bit of the, I don't know, I guess rich people place to date a couple of people super back in the day who were big snowboarders or big skiers, and got to go and do a few of those things. Ugh, don't even like to think about it. Hmm. Yeah, I I have some relatives in the states, and yeah, I can't do that. I can't think about going down there, but not right now, at least. However, it's mostly like I need my bed. I don't know. Um, if I were to travel right now, I'd probably be fine in between, in the interim, on the plane, whatever. But like, then I wouldn't be able to sleep. So you know. Yes, Star messaged me. We'll figure out a time to get coffee or something. Um, would be really fun. Trying to think if I'm coming up island anytime soon. I don't know if I don't think I have anything. A lot of the summer sports and stuff are winding down, everything, but we'll figure something out. Sure, it'll be super fun. Um, yeah, yeah. Should do a live or both. I know we keep. There are a few creators in Oregon that plan to come to Washington that I've heard about, and I keep saying, why don't you guys all just come up here? Just keep going, like coming to Seattle and then coming to Victoria. I mean, it's not that far, that much further, I suppose. And yeah, you don't need to worry about being on camera with me or anything like that, but we can figure out a way to memorialize and share with everyone if we get to meet. Um, that is part of the fun. Yeah, Dara says, believe it or not, we have minimal bugs. It is true. Sorry to say for everybody else. But we have pretty chill everything. I say that for everything we lack, we don't have a lot of poisonous things. Bugs are meh. I mean, you can definitely go places that have lots of lovely mosquitoes and things like that, but really it's not anything to extra prepare, even if you're out there camping or anything. Hi Beth, you made it. Yeah, actually it's funny, I was just kind of talking about how some of the creators from Oregon, that you were trying to get them to come to Washington. I didn't say it was you, but that's yesterday, and I was saying that y'all should just continue your pursuit and come up to Vancouver Island. Come hang out. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just for anyone who has joined us, normally I'd be showing not me just laying around, but like some form of art that I was doing or might have been putting off doing, or another task. I've also thought about possibly sharing screen and doing some computer type stuff too. Um, but today was a little rough, and today I gave up fighting technology. So at the last minute, my computer stopped recognizing the camera that is so beautifully over my paper, and so instead we're just chatting today. This is great, and that's um, it's just the way it goes, and yeah. Just reading the chat a little bit. It's very interesting when you kind of transition to doing this, because I sit in chats all day long and talking to people and back and forth and everything. So a lot of the times I feel like when I'm doing my own content that, like I get distracted because I want to be chatting with everybody. Yeah. I'd also like to start inviting some people on and have them talk more about their creativity and the things that they're doing. So if anyone's interested or has any projects or topics or anything, I'm a super promoter. So if you get me in your corner, I'll just share all your stuff all the time. I think we're all kind of like that. That's what part of the reason why Substack is so awesome. I feel like I love to cheer people on and to encourage them. So yeah, uh, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Um, Luckily, I don't think that my week ahead is looking uh, too fraught with doctor's appointments lately. I've been a little inundated with specialists and testing and whatnot. Um, but as some of you might have seen, my latest nerve testing is not, I mean, it's showing problems, but it's not showing anything that needs surgery with, which I was a lot more worried about than I thought. Um, so that is really great. And I am going to kind of take that relief into this next week and, try to really do more resting. I don't know if any of you have this problem, but when I'm supposed to be resting, I I try to do. It's really hard. Um, it's really hard to look at improvements or have ideas and then not be able to do. So, and I shouldn't say not be able to do. It's a privilege that I get to not do for a little while. But just trying to take more time to contemplate. What I'm doing, where I'm going, what I want. Um, and I think I don't know if any of you can identify with this, but now that my daughter is going into her second year at university, and I'm, not, I don't know, I'm still helping pay for a lot of her stuff, but um, the um, the whole crossroads of like, who am I, or who do I want to be versus who I've had to be is kind of really strong for me. So, but yeah, Lynette says you have to take up meditation. It's so worth it. Yeah. I actually, um, I actually record a lot of meditations myself. I just haven't really done a lot of putting it out there on Substack. So I actually have done meditation and energy work for a very large part of my, I guess, the last couple decades. I'm a certified Reiki master teacher, and I also have taken very clinical meditation stuff, so like the science behind it and all that kind of stuff. And then I've also taken other different types, which is pretty cool. I used to be very into yoga, and not necessarily for strength or anything, but more like yin or restorative, some people call it, yoga. Yeah, I know, Beth. I just gotta. There's so many things that I need to put out. Like, I probably create. Gosh, it's hard to like quantify it. Or actually, I should say it like this. I put out probably 5% of what I create. I have 2 books that I've completely written that have been, one has been beta read and all this stuff, and then I write article after article after article about things, never put them out. My notes are a mess. I say things and then I judge, and not like this is good or this is bad, but I'm back to the rejection sensitivity. I get really, really worried about not being inclusive enough, or using the wrong terms, or being I don't know, being too fangirl is a big problem for me too. There will be people. Yes, Beth, I think that we should. I think I actually, here, I'll just ask you on the live. Like, I think I want to see if I can maybe steal some time from you each week for us to kind of talk craft and and do some of those meditations. Get some of the voice work out there. My uh, little kid fantasy dreams, I don't know, like varied greatly. Like I've always wanted to do a lot of different things, but one of the themes that always kind of had come back is different uh, voice work, interviewing, you know, reading things, reading people's articles out loud, and um, sorry, just reading all your wonderful stuff. Yeah. Yes, like I don't know. I really. Oh, Brittany, have a great time on the beach. We'll talk to you soon. And Dar, I think, left too. Sorry, I didn't really say anything. Gosh, my brain. Yeah. Oh, what did Lynette say? Only on Substack because I got a 10% happier subscription for Christmas 1 year. Ah, yeah. You know, I really encourage people on Substack to be, do what you want to do, right? Don't write. I don't know. I mean, I get that there's a business model and there are ways. Um, so I'm not knocking the people that you know uh, are out there doing the formula stuff, but um, I don't know. Just feel like if it makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you know, um, do what you want. Um, oh, that makes sense. Not charging your phone after the concert. Oh man, yeah. Just get home and collapse. Oh. But yeah, doing some voice work again would be really fun. And the other thing that I will say out loud so that people can hold me accountable for is like my whole life I played music, um, piano, clarinet, trumpet, and I also did violin for most of my childhood. Violin was my preferred um, instrument, and uh, it has been hard not being able to do that. I am very sloppy with my right hand, so doing piano is just a frustrating pursuit. Um, I don't have a trumpet anymore. My clarinet is somewhere. I don't even know. I probably have to buy new reeds for it, but definitely cannot do violin anymore for a couple reasons, like my neck and my arm, hand, slash, whatever. So, coming to Substack also introduced me to adults that like to do karaoke, and singing has been um, just such a great discovery. Um, and now, it's going to take me quite a while to be comfortable enough to do that on a live. I feel like I don't want video proof. But trying to build up to that with that loose goal out there has been really neat. Actually, right before this, was messing around with that Cara Fun thing that So showed last night, Beth. That I didn't know about it. I had just been using YouTube, like karaoke songs, which I mean that works too, but having it all in the app with the same uh, I don't know, like this the same company, I guess, was a really cool thing. So today I was messing around with that. Yeah, I can't do the subscription to it, but the free stuff is still super fun. Mm-hmm. Wait, what did you say about violinists? Keeping their necks crooked on instruments. Yeah, and that is like a huge thing for me. Like I started at 3 and had was taught the Suzuki method, and I don't know if how much you guys know about music or music theory. Suzuki is very regimented and incredibly strict. I used to have to stand there holding my violin with just my chin for sometimes the entire lesson if I was being punished. But I was in junior orchestra by the time I was 7. So the methods work, I guess. But yeah, my neck is just real jacked from it. There's, I think that um, if I were to have a child do violin, I would probably pick more like fiddling first instead of something super regimented like that. However, as as an educator, I also am not too keen on uh, ways of teaching that punish. Just not my bag. Right? Stuart says maybe switch to left-handed violin. You know what would be wrong with that? So the reason why, I mean, it's obvious the piano's 2 hands, but violin it really is both hands. I'd either have to be holding notes like words. Sorry, just looking for my water really quick. I'd either have to be, using the bow or holding the violin and having finger placement. And I think that I would be able to use like my regular side, like a holding it on the left with my hand. With some modifications, I probably could do that. You know, the last violin that I owned, like that I actually owned, I had left it at my parents' house for storage, and I I just like my dad painted it white. I don't know why. I don't remember the reason why, but yeah, that was the last time I actually had it. So Lynette says my mom took ukulele because she loved Hawaii. Yeah, I used to do right before COVID. I used to be a part of a ukulele circle, um, and I still have. I think we've got 2 ukuleles. It was part of um, the homeschooling that I did too. My daughter did ukulele um, as well, but way more in a fun community kind of way than here's an instrument, let's teach you this. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. Someday I'd like to either release video or podcast or whatever of me singing, or possibly take in a in a karaoke session. Stuart is saying, fun fact, Clint Eastwood corrected co-star's spelling of ukulele in hit film The Line of Fire. Oh, okay. That is kind of fun. Gosh, is Clint Eastwood still alive? I feel like he's got a... Oh, what would I sing? I don't know. What would I sing? What kinds of songs would I sing? I think that that's another thing. I'm not really sure what would be best. I have a karaoke playlist that I use, and it has some very... Oh, Clint Eastwood is 96. Wow. That is really old. Oh, man. He was a heartthrob within my lifetime. That's crazy. Anyway, sorry. Ooh, I'm a squirrel. Beth asked what would I sing. So some things that I sing often are like Losing My Religion by REM. I, oop, I'm frozen there. I'm not. Some Demi Lovato I sing sometimes, like old Demi Lovato, like Skyscraper. I mean, I would do Taylor Swift, but nobody likes Taylor Swift anymore, apparently. Um, I also I have a lot of Green Day on my karaoke, and Nickelback, which I know people love that too. Let's see, check in with the chat. Lynette says my teacher would tell my mom I just needed to read more if I was growing up so I could learn to spell. Oh yeah, still can't spell. I used to write my spelling words over and over. Yeah, you know, spelling is so weird. Um, I uh, also don't spell well, but what compounds it for me when typing and stuff is that my brain sends signals and my middle finger, my right hand doesn't want to listen. So a lot of the times everything is misspelled because of that. And then I'm second guessing it because I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. There's a line under it. Yes. I used to be amazing at memorizing telephone numbers as well, Stuart. That back in the day when you had to know so that you could stop at a payphone or whatever, that was definitely something that I also remember too. But I wonder, are you good at remembering song lyrics and song stuff? Because I feel like that's my forte. I used to tease my younger sister that I knew every word to every song, like in the history of the world, and I convinced her of that because the only songs my parents let us listen to was, it was a finite amount, and I was around longer than her because I was older, so I knew the words, and she still holds that over my head. But I lied to her. It was a couple year thing that I kind of pulled over on her. It's, it's a funny memory, but yeah, um, music was always my thing. We were also put in dance at 3 too, and I danced for the majority of my life until my body kind of gave out in my 20s. Um, I did modern tap and jazz and ballet, and I was decent at ballet. I was crap at modern, and better at tap jazz mostly. Probably a little bit better at ballet. Ooh, what books are you reading, Lynette? I can't do that. I can't do more than one book at the same time. I actually really need to find another book. I've been really having some struggles doing the actual reading these days, and I know there are things like audio. What is the place called? Audible. That's right. And I think that like all the different accessibility functions, having that be able to read to you is really great too. But yeah, I don't know. It's very annoying. I used to be an avid reader, and I still am on occasion, and that tends to be when I write the most is when I'm reading. But I'm going through a dry spell. Lynette reads nonfiction. Those are really interesting. Yeah. Oh, the psychology of Christian nationalism. I bet that would be a really, really fascinating read. We Need a Party of Our Own by Les Leopold. Yeah, well, that's cool that you're going to do a book study on that. That would be really, really, those will be some topics. Um, that's, uh, those are some thinking books. I love it. I love it. Yeah, was doing really well with requesting ebooks from my library on their app. Well, not their app, but the app that their system uses. And then I don't know what happened. I just just got distracted doing other stuff. So, but I've never actually been part of a book club. Um, that would be a really fun thing. Um, Nonfiction books are harder, though, I feel like, um, to keep my attention than fiction. I, Probably because I went to grad school and I was forced to read a lot of nonfiction, like a lot of nonfiction. And I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but uh, it might have been Libby, that I was a creative writer through and through. And my first book that that I don't even know what that I wrote the first draft of is nonfiction, a dysphoric nonfiction. It was supposed to be part of the like a series. Um, but yeah, it uh, not something. I don't know whether I just want to revisit it. Oh, I'm amazing. I don't know. Like, I will agree that I am amazing at starting things. I have some real big challenges with finishing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks, Stuart. Lynette says, I know I need to read some fiction too. Brittany read something by Libby. Yeah, Libby was reading her book that you can pre-order. Little shout out, Libby Grant. It's called The Ended World. It's fascinating. I loved listening to her read, and I have it on my list to read a few of her other ones that I really like historical fiction. So would really like to do that. However, I it's a challenge sometimes getting independent press uh, books within the library system here. Not saying that I couldn't like buy the ebook or whatever, but audiobook possibly. But yeah, so I was telling them that about how I went to grad school and I went to two grad schools technically, and um, creative writing was beat out of me over and over and over again. Um, to the point where a lot of times when I write, I feel like I sound like AI. Just, just like I don't know. Um, so the second book that I wrote, which is trauma informed parenting book, so it's a nonfiction book. Um, Again, kind of 75% done. I feel like I should have a shirt that just shows like a battery thing to 75% because it's just that's what I do. Start, do, lose interest, start something else. mm. Hmm. Yes, about the same. I would love to read books like for people, mostly because like you're reading out loud, you're actually like absorbing it. it's, uh, it's it's a cool process, especially when it's somebody else's work. I really enjoy that. Although I really, really love listening to authors read their own books and their own writing, even just Substack articles, just because there's like a nuance to when you're writing how you hear it in your head. I like to be able to represent that. So you should, Beth. Nice. last year with ADHD, with a unformal diagnosis. I don't know even how you would say it, of autism, but it, especially in the Canadian healthcare system, is not necessarily beneficial to get an autism diagnosis, and it's pretty much you just have to pay thousands of dollars here to do that. And when I spoke with some specialists about it, there's no further accommodations that you can get at work with autism versus ADHD. So I just kind of stopped at ADHD. That was good enough. And, you know, knowing that it's been super helpful. It's a journey, it's a process, you know, looking at your life, mourning the things that have happened, seeing things from a different perspective, realizing, connecting the dots. But it is validating to have that diagnosis and to be able to look for coping strategies and different skills and whatnot from that lens. It really, I feel like it really helped. Yeah. Just gonna check in on the chat a little bit. Oh, you know what? We are at the end of our time together. But I really appreciate you guys coming out. And like I said before, like, this is, you all are contributing to my healing. And I really thank you for that. Like, I really appreciate, you know, what you're doing out there and out and about. Everything from your participation in chats, my chats, other people's chats, you know, your notes, your presence. So appreciate that. Really appreciate that. So anyway, yeah, if nobody else says it to you today, I think you were all awesome, and I hope to see you around this week. I am going to try to plan something a little bit better next Sunday, and I really hope that you know, I see you again. So really hope you all have an amazing day. We will talk soon, friends. Thanks.